So guys, what's going on? So guys, you've probably seen Tyson Fury's interview with Good Morning Britain, where Tyson Fury said he will knock AJ out in 3 rounds. A lot of people have reacted. A lot of people have reacted to this. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, no way, Tyson Fury knocks out AJ in 3 rounds." Tyson Fury said something very good on there that he goes, nobody thought I would knock Deontay Wilder out. Everybody thought that I was stupid when I made those predictions. But one thing is with Tyson Fury, that Tyson Fury is a guy that he gets into your head psychologically. And he's a very difficult guy to read and understand. Because a lot of people thought he was bluffing. That when he fought Klitschko, he said, "I'm gonna knock Klitschko out," but he was bluffing. I wouldn't say stand in the place. He really, really boxed really well. Although it was a stinky fight and a boring fight and a fight that borders all to death, but he frustrated Vladimir Klitschko and beat him hands down. Then the second Wilder fight, he fought exactly the same way. He on the back foot, and then in the last round when he got knocked down, he got back up and started pushing Wilder back. I think he realized then that this is probably the way to fight against Deontay Wilder. The second fight, he said that, listen, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna bully this guy. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna knock this guy. I'm coming to him. I'm gonna be walking to him. Everybody's like, nah, he's crazy. He ain't gonna walk to Wilder. He's gonna get sparkled if he walks to Wilder. He did exactly that, and he's battered Wilder from pillar to post. He battered Wilder, just battered him. So Tyson Fury is a guy that can back up his boast. He can back up what he says, but at times you don't know whether he's bluffing. Now, in terms of him knocking AJ out in 3 rounds, not happening in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. But with Tyson, you don't know. He has proven a lot of people wrong in the past. I just think AJ is a very good boxer, and many people have made this point that is Tyson Fury underestimating AJ? Does he believe that AJ's that good? And is he going into that fight actually looking at AJ and thinking he's not very good? And is he going to be in for a shock when he gets in the ring with AJ and realizes this guy's a lot better than what I thought he was? A lot of YouTubers have made this point that Tyson Fury may be underestimating Anthony Joshua. And when Tyson Fury says these things, I don't think Tyson Fury is underestimating AJ. I just think he's trying to get under AJ's skin and try to make AJ out like you're nothing, you're rubbish, you're this, you're that. Because for me, I think the way AJ's been built up, right, that affects AJ. And I think Tyson Fury understands that, if you see what I mean. And I think Tyson Fury is trying to play with Anthony Joshua's psychologically, because you know what? Tyson Fury is very smart and very sharp. He picks up how individuals are, how he needs to, act at the press conferences, how he needs to get into their head. AJ really rates himself. Like, he really thinks he's a great fighter, And the fact that Tyson Fury is odds on to beat AJ, that's not going to sit down well with AJ. I could just tell when he was asked the question, he didn't like the fact that people view him as an underdog. He may not say it openly. Of course, he's not going to say it openly. But I don't think that sits down well with him, because AJ's always been seen as the guy that's a big favorite, going into every fight as a favorite. He's been rated like that for some reason. Even though I don't know why, I don't see him going in as a massive favorite in any fight that he fights, just because there's a vulnerability there. But the fact that now he's finally been seen as an underdog against Tyson Fury, and quite a substantial underdog, really. I wouldn't say substantial, but I would definitely say that people view him as an underdog in that fight, and most people would expect Tyson Fury to win that. It's kind of like a 60, 65, 35 kind of fight, 60, 40, 65, 35. In my opinion, I don't see it as a 50-50 fight. I think Tyson Fury is definitely a favorite in that fight. But that, I think, niggles away at Anthony Joshua. And I feel that Tyson Fury says all of these things to get under Anthony Joshua, get into his head, pee him off a little bit. So when Tyson Fury and AJ fight, AJ's got a point to prove to Tyson Fury, so then he respects AJ. And I think that's what Tyson Fury wants. He wants AJ to fight angry, wants AJ to come onto him. That will leave holes for Tyson Fury to do what he does. Tyson Fury is the guy that gets people off their game. You know, he has a plan. He knows, and he comes in different ways. This isn't a guy that is one dimensional in or outside the ring. He's not one dimensional the way he comes at people. Like people, like we thought when he said the second time against Wilder that he's bluffing. He wasn't bluffing. He was actually saying what he was gonna do, but we didn't fall for it because he said those things many times before that I'm gonna come and I'm gonna knock him out, and he's not acting on his word. But this time he did act on his word, and he did come out and go to Wilder, and he did stop him. So he's kind of a guy where it's hard. He's hard to read. In terms of AJ, I think AJ is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. He's got a lot more tools. He hasn't got the power that Wilder has. He isn't as concussive, but he's definitely got enough power to hurt Fury. I just think the way AJ fights, he's going to struggle to land on Fury regularly because I think Fury moves too much. And I think with how heavy Anthony Joshua is, although his punches look fast against more static targets, against Tyson Fury, I think he's going to be made to miss a lot. I think Wilder's, although he doesn't have Joshua's boxing ability, I think Wilder's more dangerous for Fury because Wilder's a lot quicker. He's a lot sharper with that right hand, and he's very unpredictable. AJ's more predictable. He's got a lot more tools in his box, but he's a lot more predictable, and you can see someone like Fury will be able to see his punches a lot easier. Right? A lot of people keep saying, well, Otto Wallin landed on Fury, so why wouldn't Joshua? Well, Fury, again, is a guy that rises to his competition. Fury is a guy that really rises himself. When he's fighting these top-notch guys, he really raises his game to another level. But he's able to do that because he's a top-notch boxer. He's a top-notch fighter, right? And I don't think you're going to get Otto Wallin kind of performance against Anthony Joshua when millions around the world are going to be watching, when he's going to be highly motivated to prove he's the best of this era. Tyson Fury is not going to be demotivated for that fight or put in a poor performance. It's just not going to be Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is going to be on his A game for that fight. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see Tyson Fury knocking AJ out because I think AJ's durable enough. However, I do think if Tyson Fury catches AJ and, you know, Tyson and gets AJ in big trouble, Tyson Fury may be able to finish the job. Because let's be honest, right? AJ hasn't fought a lot of guys in their prime. Like, if you look at his resume, I know his resume is good, but when you look at some of the stellar names that he's got on that resume, you look at Povetkin, Klitschko, they're all old. The only guys that he's fought in his prime that were half decent, and I'm not a big fan of these guys, by the way. Parker, which was a stinking fight, and again, the referee didn't let Parker work. However, AJ did really well. He boxed and he really neutralized Parker, used his height and physical advantages, AJ's to his advantage, and beat Parker quite comfortably. The other half-decent heavyweight he fought, he got knocked out by, and that was Ruiz, and then he beat him in the rematch again. So, for me, those are the two guys he's really fought in their prime that are half-decent. And the other credible names that he's got were all old or way past their best. You know, so, to be honest, yeah, people may say, well, Joshua's fought a lot of top 10 heavyweights. Yeah, he has. But you've got to look at who he's fought as well. You've got to look at Povetkin and Klitschko were old, right? They were really old, and so was Pulev, right? So how many top 10 guys has Joshua fought that were in their prime? You know, how many of them were in their prime? Brazil, how good was Brazil? I don't really rate him. We saw what Wilder did with him. Molina, not really a top 10 guy. Who else has he fought? Dillian White, yes, but when Dillian White fought Joshua, he wasn't a top 10 heavyweight. He was novice, he was very green. So can we really count that win at that point in terms of Dillian being a top heavyweight? Not really. I think Dillian White now is a completely different, opposition for Joshua. And not just that, even Dillian White now just got knocked out by Povetkin. So it still shows that, you know, we listen. I feel like Joshua's fought some good names, yes, but I do think that I think his resume is a little overrated just because of the fact that I think that a lot of the guys that with the more credible names that he's fought and beat were past their best, you know. So I think we're gonna learn a lot more about AJ when he fights an Usyk, when he fights a Fury, and I do think the vulnerabilities that he has will definitely come to surface when he fights those guys. But it's just whether he's improved enough where he can kind of hide those vulnerabilities that he has. Let's see. But I don't think by no means I think it's an easy fight for Tyson Fury. I don't think AJ is an easy fight for Tyson Fury at all. I think AJ is a hard fight, and I think if Tyson Fury goes into the fight thinking it's an easy fight, I think he's going to come unstuck. I do think a lot of the stuff that Tyson Fury says about AJ is to get into his head, because I think he's read AJ and he thinks that those things affect him when he diminishes AJ's record, diminishes AJ's skills as a fighter. I think he thinks that gets under his skin, and that's what Tyson Fury's about. He likes to get under the guys. He likes to play mind games with the guys that he's gonna fight, and he's been doing it with AJ for a very, very long time. For me, Tyson Fury rates Anthony Joshua, but he doesn't say it. He doesn't say it out in public. He rates him. He thinks he's a good fighter, I believe. But I think in terms of him feeling that he knocks Joshua out, I do believe he feels he'll knock him out. I believe Tyson Fury will get a stoppage in that fight. But I don't think it'll be in 3 rounds. I don't think he's gonna wipe him out in 3 rounds. That's just not what I see. I think Tyson Fury will potentially beat him down later on in the fight. I think through breaking him down, through Joshua becoming more exhausted, and I think that's how I see Tyson Fury winning the fight. I don't see him just going in there and destroying AJ within 3 rounds. I just don't see that happening. I think AJ is too good a boxer, and he's game to last, even the distance, or even go. I think if he's going to get stopped, it's more late on that I see that happening. And I think that will be down to Tyson Fury landing a lot of shots, Anthony Joshua getting tired, and then Tyson Fury, getting shots in and referee coming in and stopping it. Don't see him knocking Joshua out cold. I don't think Fury has that kind of punching power. I think it's a more breakdown kind of knockout job where he breaks him down and tires Joshua out, leans on him, makes it horrible for Joshua, and then drowns him late. That's how I feel. That's what I would think happens in the fight. But in terms of him knocking Joshua out in 3 rounds, I don't see that. That's my opinion. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Make sure to smash that like button. And guys, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.